NBC 10 breaking news.
Our 20 minutes of nonstop news begins with a mother and her teenage daughter accused of killing 5 family members inside their apartment. Investigators say the mother claimed her family wanted to die. The case is haunting their quiet community and the district attorney.
I was real messed up in the head. I couldn't believe it because I seen her like 6 months ago.
I just wish I didn't have to report it. I wish we didn't have to deal with it. But we will always keep Naira, Damon, Jamila, Erica, and Imani first and foremost in our minds and our hearts as we work to get justice for them.
Hello, I'm Erin Coleman.
And I'm Jacqueline London. NBC 10 first told you about this story last night at 11. Police say it is one of the worst crimes they have ever had to witness in their careers. The case centers around the Robert Morris apartments on West Bridge Street in Morrisville, Bucks County. Investigators say a maintenance worker called police after he found the suspects, a mother and daughter, disoriented in the apartment. Officers later discovered the victims. New, just in the past 2 hours, that teenage daughter accused of killing her family arrived at the Bucks County Jail where she was arraigned on murder charges. Skyforce 10 was over the jail as 19-year-old Dominique Decree walked in with a state police escort. You can see she's wearing a yellow hospital gown. NBC 10 has a team of reporters committed to covering every angle of this story this afternoon, from the investigation to the young victims and their families and the community in shock.
We begin with NBC 10's Deanna Durante live at the Bucks County Jail in Doylestown, where both the daughter and her mother are now behind bars. Deanna.
Well, Shayna Decree was booked in the jail early this morning after being charged with 5 counts of murder. Her daughter, 19-year-old Dominique, arrived here just a few hours ago wearing what looked like either police issue clothing or perhaps a yellow hospital gown. You can see marks on her neck. Dominique and her mother told police varying stories as to what happened inside that apartment in Morrisville.
It's a sad day for Morrisville.
What police walked into on Monday afternoon was stunning, even to a veteran chief who's been on the job for decades.
Take children out of here like that. It shouldn't happen like this.
But what did happen? They're still working to figure out. Over the weekend, we know a DHS caseworker came to check on the family who lived in apartment S7 on Bridge Street. She left a card. She came back on Monday, and this time when there was no answer, a maintenance man from the apartment opened the door. Inside, police say they found an apartment in disarray. Furniture was flipped over and glass was broken. 2 women were found disoriented. They were 45-year-old Shayna Decree and her daughter, 19-year-old Dominique. In another bedroom, 5 people, all dead. Shayna's son, Damon Decree, and his sister, Naira, as well as Shayna's sister, Jamila Campbell.
And Jamila Campbell's twin daughters, Erica and Imani Allen, age 9, are also victims. I am sure that you're going to ask me why this has occurred and what the motivation is. And as confusing as it was last night, we are no closer to understanding that in the harsh light of day.
The mother and daughter at times tell differing stories, but talk of a murder-suicide pact. The DA says that hasn't been ruled out. Court documents say Shayna told police everyone wanted to die.
When you have 2 9-year-olds involved, 2 9-year-olds can't make that decision, and a 13-year-old. So I think that's, is that something in the adults' minds? I don't know, but it's surely not in 9-year-old minds.
Now, there was another relative that was reported missing last night. Authorities had said that he was not a suspect. They wanted to make sure that he was okay. The DA says he was found last night. He is okay. It's unclear what information he was able to give police. We know he was not at the apartment at the time of the murders. But again, we don't know if he can shed any light as to what happened there in Morrisville. Reporting live in Doylestown, Deanna Durante, NBC 10 News.
Deanna, you cover Bucks County every single day. You know these police officers. You know the district attorney. It was visible how upsetting it is for these members of law enforcement who deal with violent crime every day, as upsetting as it is for us as journalists and every viewer watching right now.
I don't think any of them are expected to walk in and find an entire family dead. And keep in mind, these are people who have children and siblings of their own. The police chief of Morrisville was a police officer in Philadelphia, most recently in the Northwest Division. He says he covered shootings and had to report to those crimes every day, and he has never seen anything like this.
So difficult for so many of us to understand. Deanna Durante reporting live for tonight. And one reason this case is so hard for so many people to understand the young age of these victims.
And we do want to explain who is involved in this case and the different relationships between the suspects as well as the victims. First, the Decree family, the mother Shayna and her daughter Dominique, accused of all 5 murders. 2 of the victims are Shayna's daughter, Noria, and son, Damon Jr. You see them on the bottom left and right. Shayna's sister is Jamila Campbell. Jamila was also murdered, along with her 9-year-old twin daughters, Imani and Erica Allen.
They were 9, like they didn't deserve that.
Through tears and heartbreak, Destiny Harris told us about her 9-year-old twin sisters, Imani and Erica.
When was the last time you spoke to her?
Like a week ago, when I spoke to my friend Dominique. That was the last time, and they looked so happy. They were getting their hair done.
That was the last time Destiny heard their voices. She said Imani wanted to be a ballerina and Erica wanted to be a teacher.
It's like unbelievable. I'm just lost for words.
Destiny's mom brought her home from college to grieve. The 19-year-old didn't expect to spend her day going through photos of her young sisters. She shared this one of the family together at her high school graduation. A painful reminder of what happened a few doors down. Destiny wants to know why her sisters had to die.
They were all going through something religiously, and they decided to drag the kids into it, and they should have never been involved in that. They should have never had to deal with any of the family issues.
I see that sister is torn up over this. A neighbor described those little girls as joyful little girls. She suspected something strange in that apartment too. At 5 o'clock, what she said happened when she tried to share food with that family. Live in Morrisville, I'm Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
And right now we want to go live to NBC 10's Stephen Fisher, who is also in Morrisville. Stephen, you spoke with Naira's father, who said she recently celebrated a birthday and was engaged to be married. Every detail here more difficult to hear.
Yeah, Jacqueline talked to Naira Smith's father here today. Of course, he was a broken man talking about his daughter. He did tell us she just celebrated a birthday just a few weeks ago and was engaged to be married. He also told us, though, she just started living here at this apartment within the last month, and he recalls recently receiving some concerning text messages from his daughter.
She was a good woman. She's a good woman. I mean, she just didn't deserve to happen to her.
Today, Ronald Smith and his brother came here to the apartment where police say his daughter lost her life.
My daughter was a very good person. I don't know what happened to her, how she fell into this, what happened. I still want answers too.
Ronald said he does not have a relationship with Naira's mom, Shayna Decree, who was charged with murder. He did say his daughter moved into this apartment with the family a few weeks ago.
I know last month I talked to her, and she'd been inside this apartment for a month. I've been in and I did tell the police something was going on inside this apartment.
He tried to see Naira on February 1st. He talked to her through the apartment door, but she refused to come out. He said it wasn't long after that when he received cryptic but startling text message from Naira.
A bunch of texts sent that I'm going to the pearly gates. Her mother had her manipulated inside this apartment.
And Ronald also told me there is no way his daughter wanted to end her life. Again, he told me she just turned 25 years old and was engaged to be married. Reporting live, Stephen Fisher, NBC 10 News.
Just impossible for anyone to understand. Investigators say they do have a long way to go before they find a motive in this family murder investigation.
And NBC 10 is committed to staying on top of this story. At 4:30, NBC 10's Mitch Blocker is taking a closer look at the background of this family and the suspects and why DHS workers went to their apartment recently. Be sure to download the NBC 10 app to get breaking news alerts on this major story. You can also read more about the investigation and the connection between the family members.